Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.
Hello, I'm here with the very lovely Sheena Noelle, or Sheena Thompson as she's also known. She is the owner of Sheena Noelle Designs in Buncrana in County Donegal, and she's Local Woman's new podcaster. Sheena, you're very welcome, although you've been here before.
I have been here before, yes, so I've been used to the studio.
She was so good that we wanted to have her back to become our podcaster for interior design. Now, interior design is one of those things that I, as somebody whose house is a complete mess, I sort of think, oh no, this is beyond, this is a bit beyond me. So I love that you're so down to earth and you send me pictures of work you've done and I'm like, that's lovely, that could be my house. So I love that down to earth approach. So each month you're going to take us through how to make little changes.
Yes, each month I'm going to be bringing in guest speakers and we are going to do everything from planning a new build to just giving your room a soft revamp, whether it's just a change of colour, just giving you practical help and advice and bringing some great guests that will give you loads of inspiration.
Who know their stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Because it is quite daunting for a lay person like me who tends to sort of, I don't know if you're like this, listeners, but you sort of go out and you scattergun sort of buy things and then you come home and go, oh, nothing matches. We need a lady like Sheena in our lives. Now, Sheena, let's take us back.
Yes.
When did you start?
Well, I suppose in a way you could say I was kind of brought up in this industry. My mum had a soft furnishing business from I was about 10 years old. So my life was immersed in soft furnishings and interiors. And initially I went and studied business. So I did a business degree. And I guess in a way I'm running a business. So that was helpful. But the minute I graduated, there was just that itch to do something more creative. So I went back and did interior design. And then joined my mother in the business, and then from there I have went on to launch my own interior design business.
That's fabulous because you've really learnt from the bottom right up. I mean, obviously your mother was running the soft furnishing business. She probably wouldn't describe herself as an interior designer, but in a way she was.
Oh, she was. And actually she went back and did interior design. Then
did
later
well?
as a mature, not that mature, I'll not say mature.
Yes.
But she went back and so she just always had a passion for it. But I suppose that wasn't really a profession people considered.
No, not
way
back then.
Back
in the 80s. It was sort of, yes, that is the thing. There's this perception that interior design is sort of for the wealthy.
Not at all. I think most of my clients are just normal people. Obviously, we do have wealthy clients as well, and we work on smaller homes, work on larger homes, but I think everyone can access a beautiful home. It's about living in a space that makes you feel happy, and I think it really does enhance your life, having a beautiful interior and a beautiful space to go home to.
So how does it work? Like, say, for example, you come into my living room. Please don't. And where do you start?
I suppose to start, my big thing is really understanding the person.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's designing a home because it is very personal and we could all look at a space and I might love it, you might hate it. So it's getting to know the person, how they live in the space, what is their aspirations, what they want the space to look like. And I always say there's a little bit of psychology involved in the job. It's really getting to know the client and then maybe establishing the budget. If it's an existing room, what's staying, what can go, what can we change? And then building the design from there. And then I would have them back in the studio, make a presentation. And that's always the part everyone loves because that's where you start to see the dreams coming. That can be reached. And then take it from there.
And can you keep some of your furniture? Remember that show that used to be on in the afternoons? Was it called 24-Hour Makeover? Peter Andre. I love that. And they used to go around and put little dots on the stuff they wanted to keep.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
You can do that. You absolutely can. But I'll be honest, if keeping it
something that's horrible,
if it's really gonna, if you're wanting a complete transformation, but you're wanting to keep 90% of what's there, well, you're not going to get that total transformation. But you definitely can keep certain items. Like I'm working with a client now who's building a new home and they're wanting to take some beautiful pieces from their existing home. We're incorporating them into the new home. I'll have a lot of people maybe say, I want to keep the floor and I want to keep the sofa, but I want to change paint and curtains and cushions and things like that. Absolutely, that's all doable.
And you can kind of build the room around that because I think that's the bit that people like me struggle with. I'll buy something that I think is gorgeous and it might be, I like patterns, I like sort of bold stuff, and then it kind of doesn't go with anything else.
Well, do you get a lot of people who come in and say, I've got so far, and,
Yes.
and now I'm a bit stuck.
I'm stuck, yes.
And then a lot of people, even with new builds, like whether they've built it themselves or whether they've bought a turnkey home, and then they're like, everything's just beige or everything's just grey, and now I'm just don't know where to inject the personality in and where to add. So that's where, you know, the help of interior designer can really save you money making expensive mistakes.
Yes, you talk about saving money, because I have bought so many things that really aren't great, to be fair, but I love them, but they don't go with anything else, and then they end up being sidelined and nothing matches. So I guess in a way, if you employ the interior designer,
It stops you making those,
your money.
It stops you making those expensive mistakes where you've maybe bought an expensive sofa and then we're going to have to live with that for the next 10 years because that costs, you know. So if you engage interior designer early enough on, you can save money in the long run. Yeah.
So what about trends? I mean, for a long time, whenever I was growing up, everything was beige, and then everything turned grey. Do you remember that? Everything was grey. What about now? What's the latest trend?
Well, I often believe like we shouldn't be slaves to trend. I think at the end of the day, you should love your home, and if you really do it in a way that you love it, you'll love it for a long time. But at the same time, we all want to have a nod to what's fashionable and what's in trends. We definitely are seeing a move away from the cooler greys. We're definitely seeing palettes warming into earthier, brownier, beigeier
I read that
tones.
in your column.
Yes.
Sheena also writes a column for Local Women. And yes, I was interested in that because you talked about how it was moving away from grey to sort of like brownie tones.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing more brownie undertones. And I often say, if you look at your wardrobe, what we're starting to wear, like we're starting to see a lot more tan leathers, we're starting to see a lot of suedes coming in, we're seeing that textures and that earthier in our wardrobes. It really does translate down. It translates into interiors, and so that definitely is a vibe we're seeing coming through in interiors as well.
I really have to ask you, what trend, and I will talk about ones from a while ago, what trend do you absolutely hate? Like some people will say, I hate the avocado bathrooms, which I actually quite like. I think they're going to come back in again.
I think if it's executed well in the right setting, it can work really, really well. It's like panelling's really popular.
Panelling?
It's very, very popular. Yes. And the right panelling, there's a right panelling for every home.
Yes.
But putting classical panelling and really modern new build, it's not gonna, you know, it's not really gonna work. Do you know? So I think you just have to be sympathetic to the building as well.
So panelling was very in for a while whenever we were younger. Remember the rag rolling?
Yes, my mother did that.
Would you ever do that now?
And stenciling?
Stenciling, yes. The rag rolling's hilarious. It just looked like a mess, but we all loved it.
Oh, it was huge.
Great.
It was hugely
And the
popular.
other one was the dado reels.
Yes.
Those are going to come back.
Oh, well, we're actually seeing, we're definitely seeing, along with the panelling, you know, that's kind of definitely, joinery detail, we're seeing a lot more joinery detail in homes, which I think is nice because it really is adding a little bit of character into homes again, but it's just using it sparingly. Let's not panel every wall in every room, and choose the right paneling for the style of the home.
Yes. And there is a move for people to do a lot of the work themselves these days as well. I see that a lot on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are getting really, really good. Yeah, I think maybe during COVID, people sort of got into that as well. And there is so much on YouTube and so many, you know, tutorials on how you can do things for yourself. So people are definitely getting braver and tackling a lot more projects themselves.
How much of this stuff can you do yourself?
How much can I do myself?
Yeah. Are you handy with the paintbrush?
I can do quite a bit, and my husband has lost his drill on a few occasions. I can do quite a bit. I can sample quite a lot of things, and I can paint as well. But to be fair, I do love the finish of a professional painter. I think
makes all the difference.
And wallpapering, I probably wouldn't tackle wallpapering because really good wallpaper is going to make a major difference.
Particularly if you're using that stuff that's like £100 a roll.
Exactly.
Don't do it yourself.
Exactly. If you're investing in good wallpaper, you want a good decorator that's going to put it up well. But definitely bit of painting and things, I'd tackle that myself.
And you've obviously built a team around you in Sheena Noelle Design.
Yes. So I've got great tradespeople that we've great partnerships with. We actually have our own curtain making facilities and blind making facility and our own upholsterer and everything. That's all under in our factory and all under our roof. So yeah, you can't beat a professional finish in some of those areas, and definitely curtain making wouldn't be something that many of us would tackle.
No, definitely not.
And cutting down blinds sounds like a great idea until there's a very ragged finish. So I think you can't beat a customized finish on those sort of items either.
Yes, I think I need to play to my skills a little bit more. So tell us about some of the big projects that you've worked on.
So some of the big projects that I've worked on, we have completed show homes in Leopardstown at the beginning of 2024, which were actually featured in Irish Times.
Wow, show homes must be wonderful because it's a real blank canvas.
Yeah, a real blank canvas, and they were a lot of fun.
And can you just do whatever you want?
Well, we were given like a kind of a bio of what the ideal buyer, was going to be.
You play to that.
So we're kind of trying to appeal to who might live in this home, and
interesting. That's quite a lot of psychology there.
There is a lot of psychology in getting into what's their lifestyle, how do they like to live, and how do they like to socialize, do they like to entertain, what are we trying to show them that this home will provide for them. So that kind of thing. Also hotels. So I've done a lot of work in hotels. Radisson and Letterkenny, we did like their foyer lobby, which is beautiful space. We've done a lot of work throughout the hotel, their breakfast room then last year as well. Clanry Hotel, we just finished doing their reception as well.
It's a big space.
Recently, Rossapena Hotel, we've done many of the suites there. The extension, we've done all 3 floors in it. I'm trying to think. There's so many different projects. Where do you get
your vision from? Where do you get these ideas from?
Again, like say Rossapena there looks out at the sea, so you're looking out at those beautiful sea, the Radisson, so it definitely has that luxury. It's a big brand. It's a very modern, contemporary
the brand as well.
Yeah, so I think maybe in some ways my business degree comes in a lot in commercial projects because I'm looking at them going, okay, so who are you trying to attract? Are we trying to appeal to the wedding market? Are we trying to appeal to the corporate traveller? Or so what are we trying to achieve with this? Because at the end of the day, when the owner of a sort of like a commercial space that comes back and says, I booked 5 weddings after we did that, I think, well,
oh my goodness, terrific.
Yeah,
terrific.
Well done. That's a job well done. Yes. So those kind of spaces, that's kind of where, so there is a lot of psychology, there's business involved as well.
Yes, it's really the whole thing. What about smaller homes?
Smaller homes, so lots of different small homes, obviously, that you won't know, but we've done lots of local homes, and we're doing a beautiful home now in Limavady Road in Derry at the moment, which will be finished next month. So we have a lot of smaller projects ongoing. One, single rooms. A lot of people come to us and just say, I just want this room to be beautiful.
I'd love to see some more of those single rooms. You'll have to put those in your local woman column, because that fascinates me. It's a bit like that other show, Changing Rooms.
Yes.
Remember that back in the 90s and noughties? We loved that.
Yeah, a lot of people like to see the before and the after.
Yeah, I love it before and after.
Just how it went from a room that just looks like any room that anybody's home.
Just a plain room.
Yes, and just a normal room that was probably not an awful lot wrong with, but just wasn't wow. Like I recently had a client to me, she said, it just doesn't give me the wow factor.
It's not giving her the pleasure. And I think after COVID, we spend more time in our homes.
We entertain more at home as well.
None of us can afford to go out, of course.
Well, I think there is an issues as well with people, like we'll not get into it, but taxis and so on and so forth.
Yes, everything's expensive.
Yeah, it's all expensive and even hard to get taxis in some rural areas. And so people entertain more at home, and so they want their homes to be, and even then that knocks on into hotels and things, because hotel owners will say to me now, the bar is so high because our homes are so nice.
That's very true, isn't it? That's
if you're going to book a hotel, like I've had clients say to me, well, if I'm going to book a hotel, it needs to be nicer than my home.
Yes,
I need to be nicer than what I'm leaving. So
that's
like made the bar higher for hotels as well. So the bar's raising across the board, I think.
And how do you find working as a female in this kind of career? Because you must work with a lot of men.
Work with a lot of men, but a lot of interior designers, like there are some brilliant male interior designers as well, but there are a lot of female interior designers, and generally speaking, I find most of the trades pretty good.
They're okay.
Yeah, usually pretty good. I'm just another trade.
Yes.
Though sometimes maybe if I'm making their job a little bit harder, when I want something that's not, maybe there's an easier way of doing something, but I don't think it's going to give the same finish, and I'm pushing for something else.
Yes.
They might not always love me, but the client hopefully loves me at the end, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. But yeah, no, I have no issue. Most of the trades are all brilliant.
You're just there with your hard hat and your clipboard telling those men what to do.
I think just don't be afraid to climb the ladder and get dusty and just get stuck in. That's it. Yeah.
Gosh, we could talk for ages. There's so much to talk about with this. I'm really looking forward. Wow. So this new podcast, it's starting later this month. We'll put that up on our social media, and I can't wait to
so excited.
It's going to be great. And don't forget to follow Sheena's column in Local Woman magazine as well. Thank you so much for coming up from beautiful Buncrana today.
Well, thank you very much,
Very lovely, Sheena Noelle.
Local Women magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.